are listening to the Space-Tastic Mysteries podcast. We are in week 14 of Anna Gale Line's latest novel, The Lightyears, involving a Mobile Alliance surgical hospital battling an epidemic at the front lines of the Freedom Alliance Crimson Fleet War. This is episode 14, The Theories. If you have not subscribed, do so now, and if you are on YouTube, hit the bell to be notified of new episodes.
We walked into a large laboratory that looked more like a high school chemistry classroom rather than a laboratory. It had at least 20 large tables with black tops and microscopes and terminals at each station. This is the laboratory I used to work at. I used to work at ones in the back, so people did not interrupt me. I moved to the back of the room and sat in one of the chairs, running my hand over the bottom of the table. I grimaced as Jake joined me. "What were you looking for?" "The chip with my notes on it. I really didn't think it would be here, but it was worth a shot." I activated one of the terminals and hacked my way into the government database. I wonder what they actually know, and what their intent is. You are going to hack into their databases, as any good spy would. I am going to look around and see if I can find anything of significance. As I made my way through their firewalls, I managed to find a file with all of the Island Committee minutes in it. However, it was password protected. Managing to break the password, when the information ran across my screen, it was encoded. I worked to decode it when I felt something prick my arm. Then I felt myself go limp and fall off the chair and into a puddle on the ground. What seemed like seconds later, I blinked rapidly. I looked around and realized I was sitting on the couch of a fancy office. It sprawled the size of a quarter of a football field with a large oak desk and wooden, elaborately carved chairs in front and one behind. The walls were lined with shelves that housed old, dusty books and paintings. I'd been here before, I just didn't remember when or why. Jake sat beside me. "We meet again," a voice whispered as he turned the chair around to reveal a dark-haired man with a goatee. His pale blue eyes, kind and with a hint of concern. "I am sorry I had to bring you here like this. The medication my guards gave you is harmless. I promise." I ran my eyes over his harsh-looking jaw with a scar on his left cheek. He was dressed in his standard black and white suit. His name escaped my lips. "Stefan. It's me. You know I am not here to hurt you. I am here to help you and you help me. We can help each other. You know I would never hurt you, or your companion here." "How did you know it was me?" I asked him, searching his eyes. "The Island Committee has spies everywhere around you. But I am the only one who sees how useful it could be if you and I worked together to solve this. I am the only one, outside of Josh, who helped keep you safe while you were here." He turned to Jake. "You are Dr. Jake Riley. I am Stefan. No, I am not after her. No, we have never been sexually involved. No, I am not going to hurt you or her." When I caught Jake's shocked face, I smirked. "Stefan forgot to tell you that he is telepathic, which is how I really suspect he realized we were on the planet." I turned to Stefan and said, "Have your skills developed beyond the planet yet?" Stefan shook his head. "Not yet. I am glad that your telepathic skills don't reach to our MASH vessel. I couldn't read you until you entered the cafe. I can tell, emotionally, that you are being drained by finally meeting your biological family. Your brothers and sister and I grew up together, but I didn't really get along with the boys and Josh. I had a huge crush on Brianna though. I didn't realize they were your family until recently. I am not sure about your parents though. They have never really liked me. I am not sure about them either. I am wondering how it is that they are still in here. Everyone else was either killed or released with a return date. How did my parents and my siblings get to stay alive in this place? I always wondered that myself. They are the only ones who have survived." Jake cleared his throat. "I was captured for 10 years. Stefan looked at Jake and then turned back to me. "I wonder what determines who lives, who dies and who gets a return date. I would have thought you would know. You are still being groomed to take over your parents' seat on the Island Committee, right? I have started my own business. The less you two know, the better. You and I are not on the same side of the law these days. The rumors are true, then. You are a mob lord. I don't know that I would put it that way. I see it as helping people who are captured, disappear. I see it as helping people out who have problems I can fix. I see it as taking what the committee members have and giving it to people who need it. Yes, I also traffic people and drugs, but I do it for a good cause. I am willing to overlook all that if you can help us solve this. I believe I can, but I need to take you back to your laboratory. A few minutes later, when we entered the laboratory again, people now sat in the chairs at the tables. This is my think group. We are going to solve this with your help. Everyone, this is Danny Cassidy and Jake Riley, Freedom Alliance doctors. A blonde woman from the back shouted, "You came up with the protocol for this disease. That was good work. Thank you, but it is only the beginning. We have to figure out how this disease originated." "That's easy," a dark-haired man, who sat next to the blonde, yelled. "They created this disease in the lab, and it accidentally leaked into the community." "I am not sure about that," I admitted, turning a chair around and straddling it. "I have a feeling it was a deliberate act." Everyone shouted out their theories. "What proof do you have?" When all of them looked at me blankly, I instructed, "You have 2 hours to come up with proof of your theories, then we will discuss them." They groaned as if I were a teacher who told them they had to write a 10-page essay. Then they activated their terminals. A man in disguise stood from the corner seat of one of the tables, walking over to us. "I suspect you are probably right." I knew the voice. I locked eyes with him, searching them. "Did the Clue Club send you? She told you I want to help." I nodded. "I know." He looked around and then whispered, "I heard I was the first choice for the Lightyears, and you respected Alex too much to ask me." "That, and have you talked to your son lately?" "Dom? Why?" "Because this summer the Lightyears will be allowing pre-med Freedom Alliance Academy cadets to intern in our hospital." It was tough competition, but Dom applied and was accepted. He will be with us for 3 months. That is going to be a great opportunity for him to see what a MASH unit looks and feels like. I don't know why we didn't commission a MASH vessel sooner. I don't know if they thought about it until Graham and I proposed it to Ruland and Leonardo. I watched as he took on a hunted look. "We will keep him safe without letting him know we are keeping him safe." I turned to Jake and posed, "Right? Right, man. Dom is all grown up and at the academy now, huh? You must be proud. You always wanted him to grow up and follow in your footsteps." "I am extremely proud of him. He is seeing someone, but he is being secretive about her. She is Talia Michaels. She is pre-med like him. She is one of the 5 cadets interning on the Lightyears. I didn't find out they were dating until after I made the final selections. She is tall, thin and has striking features that complement her shoulder-length black hair. She seems to be having a good influence on him. Wow, that is more than Alex and I can get out of him." I had to interview their professors and their references to see if they were a good fit, and it was those references that spilled the gossip. "I am relieved they didn't tell you before us. You think I am right, that this disease was spread on purpose. It would not make sense otherwise. All the abductions and holding people captive to try and find a cure, to go this far makes it look like the people of this planet don't only think it was a threat but perhaps that it is a threat from one of their enemies. I have proof if you would like to see it. How do you see this happening? I believe that this disease was intentionally created to cause the exposed people to die. I think that depending on their political bent determines whether they are intent on killing everyone on the front lines of this war. Technically, the disease has been around longer than the war with the Crimson Fleet. Yes, but maybe they wanted to kill smart people like doctors. Maybe, but they are playing this as this disease was created in their laboratories in order to kill their most vicious criminals." One of the doctors interjected, looking up to meet our gaze, "But that it got out of control, and then spread to the prison workers and throughout their communities, and was spread to people visiting Kilo 8 who brought it to the front lines." "Who is they?" I asked the dark-haired, short-statured woman who appeared human. "Because if you mean the Island Committee members, they have not taken responsibility for this. According to the Island Committee members, this originated elsewhere and was brought here. Yet they have been creating diseases here to destroy people who they deem undesirable." "That is not what I heard. I have a friend inside the—" I put up my hand. "I was married into one of the Island Committee families. There is no way that anyone on the inside will admit this disease originated from Kilo 8. They know if they reveal the secrets of the Island Committee, their days are numbered." Jake countered, "Danny, let her talk. Go ahead, but I am going to go with my gut." I led Drew away from the woman and Jake. I whispered. I don't know why, but something in my gut does not like what she was saying. Does Jake always do that? Do what? Counter you like that? He is his own person, with his own ideas and opinions. He does not have to agree with me. But he needs to show you respect as his superior officer and as your partner. He acts like his opinion is the only one that matters. I am glad he is home and is safe, but he is hellbent on us getting back together. I am dealing with the fact that I may have created this disease. What makes you think that? I was captured on this planet for 6 months. I thought to cure the disease, but now I am having memories that I created it. My siblings and I have started to have implanted memories. Maybe this is that, implanted memories? Memories that we did not have before and that cannot possibly be true. I have memories of growing up with my siblings, but I know I grew up in foster care. We believe the purpose is for us to question what is the truth. And you have these implanted memories of creating this disease and of being captured to cure it, and it has got you questioning reality. Exactly. That would be hard, wondering if you created this disease when so many people have been killed by it. It is, but right now, we just have to focus on curing this disease. As for Jake, I have been giving him a grace period to get settled back into non-captive life before I treat him like I treat everyone under my command. I heard from Alex that you are tough to work under. It depends. If you are disrespectful and not doing your job, then I am extremely difficult to work for. If you are respectful and do your job, or at least try to do your job well, I am the best commander to work for because I will have your back and be a safe zone. Let's get on one of the terminals. You can show me your research, and I will show you mine. We moved over to an unused terminal in the corner. I pulled up my research. This is what I have so far. I have been able to isolate how this virus attacks the body. Your protocol is brilliant. I would have not thought to use that combination of drugs, since they all have nothing to do with viruses. How did you come up with it? It was a simulation. I used a simulation and tried drugs and drug combinations to find out what would work. I started by using drugs that would help with the symptoms, and then I tried different combinations of them until I found the combination that worked. I went with my gut. And it worked out well. What was your process for coming up with the protocol for Lactham's disorder? It was similar. I researched the disease, and used a simulation to test different drugs and how they would react to the disease. Let's go out and get a soil sample. Something in my gut says I am to test it. Drew and I walked past Jake listening to all the other doctors. I leaned in and told Drew, I know a secret way out. I led him into the hallway and ducked into a supply closet. I led him to a fire pole in the middle of the room. I grabbed the pole and slid down. I watched as Drew joined me on the pole. The descent seemed to take forever. When my feet hit the ground, I moved over to a dirt patch. I took a tissue out of my pocket and scooped dirt into it. I led Drew back up to the laboratory where we headed to our terminal. I took the dirt and put it under the microscope. I didn't see anything unusual before I let Drew peer at it. I remarked, I think that we should have it tested and use it in our simulations to see how the introduction of the soil reacts when introduced to humanoid DNA. I agree. Just because we don't see anything unusual does not mean it is not there. I am curious as to what those gold flecks are. They seem out of place. Let me talk to Graham about getting these samples to a nearby lab or setting one up here.
If you would like to learn more about Anna Gale or to purchase her fiction and nonfiction books, go to AnnaGaleLines.com. That is AnnaGaleLines.com. Right now you can buy 3 ebooks and get the 4th one free. There you can sign up for the newsletter to keep up to date on what is happening in the world of the Anna Gale Lines podcast, where she inspires people to take control of their lives, and her science fiction podcast, the Space-Tastic Mysteries podcast. To follow her on social media, it is Anna Gale Lines on Twitter, Lady Anna Gale on TikTok, Anna Gale Lines Artist on Instagram, at the Anna Gale Lines podcast on YouTube. You can join the Facebook page at Author Anna Gale. Thank you for listening and thank you for being you.